So
no, yeah.
Okay. So thank you very much, Martin. So not in order to keep the time, I will try to give you a glimpse into what resources, services, and grants available, also to again put a strong emphasis on the availability of these resources, and especially the openness, inclusiveness, as well as the free, no cost, because there was a general understanding after the multi-stakeholder forum in April that some of these services would be charged, and that's not the case. But I'll try to briefly go into the different resources and services, meaning our online tools and our supporting services, as well as the invoicing grants. Again, use the emails as well afterwards. And yes, the presentation can be downloaded via this tool, or of course forwarded afterwards. I guess we will also put it up on CEF Digital pages afterwards. So without any further delay, this overview gives you a brief glimpse on what we are actually capable of offering, both in regards to services and the stakeholder management services, as well as the different standards. And what is the core focus for me and Martin here is naturally the training and the implementation workshops, which you can see right there in the middle. Which is coming up now, and we are able to do that from now on until 1 year ahead. We have an online tool, the CEF Digital web pages, where you can find a subset of web pages exclusively for the eInvoicing domain. When you get the presentation or download it, you can find the deep links within the different slides. So you can just click it and you can find it there. In order to get the full benefit of these pages, you need to have an eCAS account, which is of course again free to create, and just by having a valid email address and then selecting a username and password. Here you can engage us both in regards to the different topics around CEF Digital and all the building blocks, but especially around e-invoicing as well as e-delivery. And you will find some different knowledge bases here, some of the background material, as well as you can find the upcoming events and webinars listed. An important part here is the Readiness checker, the Invoicing Readiness checker, which was launched around New Year's in January this year, where we had questionnaires out, volunteers from different member states to go in and fill out the member states' informational sheets on the e-invoicing adoption in the member states. There are still some blank sheets there from some of the member states, so if you are representing some of these member states on a member state level, public authority level, I would encourage you to, of course, go in there and fill out the blanks and the missing information. You will also be able to get hands-on experience with both CEF Digital and the Readiness checker through the different modules that we're having, and we foresee also to take some more educational steps in the upcoming webinars as we progress. And again, the link can be found in the presentation when you download it. Finally, we also have the user community for e-invoicing, where there are ongoing discussions. There we have questions both around the standard, but also in regards to national standards, compliance, etc. So you will be able to engage even more there. If you look at the bottom right-hand corner, you will also see the different moderators, and you can actually put some pictures and names behind all the emails that you communicate with us. So that's really good. And both Martin and myself is there as well. Especially around the implementation workshops, we foresee these as a way of creating this further adoption within the member states. The original idea is to have this dialogue between the European Commission and the different member states, and especially different target audience, in order for us to tailor the implementation workshops in accordance to your expectations, but also your need and especially your target audience. So it could be that some of these implementation workshops will be either highly technical for implementers, or it could be for high-level stakeholders, policymakers. It depends on your need and also the level of maturity within e-invoicing in your region or in the different countries. Naturally, these cost-free shops should enhance the knowledge of CEF e-invoicing in member states. And when I'm writing cost-free, it's cost-free from our side. The only thing is that you have to host it within the member state, and of course help us identify the target audience and send out the implementation. Normally, we will provide on-site material for the implementation workshops, and we foresee that a workshop should be at least one full day or 1/2 day workshop. So far, we can see that there's a growing trend within the member states to ask for at least a day or perhaps even 2 days for these workshops, so that one day could be business-oriented, policy-making, legal aspects, and another day could be more technical, so you can have a diversity in the target audience, because naturally it will not be in everybody's interest to sit there for a full day and just listen in for technical, gory details if you are actually a policymaker within the member states. There is also now, of course, a possibility to have these workshops in combination with bilateral meetings between the European Commission and the member states representatives, depending on your situation and as well as who's requesting this. So this is foreseen. Besides the implementation workshops, we will have remote sessions. This is also something you can request. We haven't had any requests so far, but we foresee a 1 to 3 hour long session provided through a platform like this. This will be, of course, focused training sessions where you can hear Martin and even other colleagues coming with the key information from the on-site workshops, but provided in a remote fashion. So naturally, you will not get the deep details that you will in the training modules that are on-site in the member states, but you will actually get a little bit different focus. And of course, you have the possibility of interaction with us here online. The remote trainings as well as the on-site trainings will be announced on CEF Digital as they are planned, and all of them will be conducted in English. So if you need localized translation, this is up to you to provide, either for the on-site trainings directly or for the remote trainings afterwards. The webinars, this is the first one. We foresee around 9 of them. Then they will probably be 1 to 1.5 hour long sessions, core elements again from the on-site and remote trainings, and in order for you to gain expertise in these different areas. We also foresee that we will invite some of the different lessons learned and key implementers of e-invoicing, CEF e-invoicing around Europe to take part of some of these webinars. And finally, we will also present some web material, just the key highlights, overall presentation material on CEF Digital, as well as CEF e-invoicing collaborative spaces. In regards to the training modules that are being conducted on-site, we foresee that each module will take from 45 to 60 minutes. We have a few modules that are up to 1.5 hours long. So we foresee that there will be group discussion, collaboration to do different trainings and exercises there. But the important thing here is that in accordance to the target audience, we have to agree with the different combinations of modules together with you when you're requesting this. And then we will adjust it and tailor it as we see needed to this audience. This is meant as a dialogue between us and you, so you will not hear us dictating what should be presented, but we can come up with some ideas depending on the audience that you foresee within the member states. And naturally, the main objective here is to enhance the knowledge of e-invoicing DSI as well as CEF e-invoicing building blocks which means that we do have interest in having these workshops co-located together with national interest or national forums, which is fine. But from our part, the main point is the cross-border, the interoperability aspects of the e-invoicing. Yes, and the rest we already gone through. So here you can see a brief list of the different training modules as we have it right now. This list will also be included in the presentation that you can download. You can also see the list if you go into CEF Digital pages on this specific webinar. There's if you scroll further down below, then you'll see the list of the different modules. So what will actually happen is that if you request the trainings from us, we will prepare a country-specific page on CEF Digital where it's us and you who will have access to that, and where you'll be able to select the different modules, and we'll be able to take a dialogue around the target audience and see what is needed. If you see in the different topics of the training modules, you will also see that these can of course be grouped. So you have some very technical parts of it, but you also have some more general parts around the CEF Digital and the Invoicing Readiness ticker, as well as the different resources and tools. But then you also have the business logic and the strategy, the policy making. So it can be combined in many aspects, the service offerings. We see 9 webinars so far. You can see these together with the proposed dates. The next one is for 5th of July, but it's still not fully settled because INEA will also our sister unit here at the European Commission will also have a workshop at some point introducing the e-invoicing grants. We have on-site implementation workshop planned in Cyprus, coming up with Finland, also Poland. We know of Croatia as well after the summer break, which is in the making. And hopefully we will be able to take many of the member states in the coming 8 to 10 months. So don't sit back. It takes some time to plan this because everybody has a full calendar already, not only with summer vacation, but also with the different projects that you're going on there. And many of you already have CEF e-invoicing projects that you need to attend to. You can apply for these trainings by sending this email again. It's also written in the chat, so please go ahead and do that. We also have a supporting service around the conformance testing, and basically we're offering a test infrastructure that can allow service solution providers and public administrators to check their existing e-invoicing solutions and their compliance to the given standard. What we see here is that if you want to see that your electronic invoice passes the technical specifications for the European norm, you can use the test platform of the Commission. And then the e-invoice will be used in multiple predefined test cases, and you'll then be informed by the test result via a test report that you can download. When it passes, of course, all these gates, these test cases, your invoice is conformant. You can actually submit for a conformance test if via or for your electronic invoice via multiple access points, such as being email, web upload, form uploads, offline tools, or e-delivery. More technical details on how to use the above access points can be found in the service offering document, which is again located on the CEF Digital portal, or by contacting our support team, and you'll be able to see the emails up there. Yes. So as this webinar is also concluding, I will just take you very briefly into the grants. Thomas already did most of the job, so I won't take too much of the time. You can find the webpage for the grants here. It's located under INEA, sister unit, in the Commission, and here you will be able to find the indicative budget as well as the deadlines set forth. As mentioning, we are expecting to have a webinar on how to apply as well as the best practices from previous projects. I would like to, actually I was missing one slide here. Anyway, I would like to thank you all for joining in, and of course open the floor to any questions that have not previously been written in the chat log. Please feel free to ask the questions in the chat while we're still here. We still have some time to go through this. In any case, we look forward. I can see from the attendances list here that some of you will actually be with us in planning the upcoming implementation workshops in your member states. But hopefully also we'll see the rest of you in one of these implementation workshops or one of the upcoming webinars. So, Thomas, back to you, I think.
Thank you very much, Christian. Do we have any questions from the participants? We ask you to type them into the tool on the right-hand side of the screen.
Sorry, Martin Forsberg here. I saw that there was a question from Peter Danko, I think, on downloading the specification. It might have been misunderstood to downloading the slides. I understood it to be where you can find the norm and the specification. I want to mention that the specifications provided from the standardization of the organization CEN is not available for free. So there is a price tag for each of the specification. And normally you go through your national standardization organization, and they have normally a publication office or something where you can buy and download the PDFs, sometimes even in printed form. So that's you have to buy them. That's the short answer. So they will not be available for free, to my knowledge, at least as it is now.
Thank you very much, Martin. We have a question here from Mads. Is it possible that one public authority makes a call on behalf of all public institutions in the member states? Do you mean call for grants, call for proposals in response to the distribution of funds? Christian, do you have as you covered the grants here?
Yeah, sure. Thank you for the question, Mads. And of course, you're more than welcome to contact me bilaterally, since we are native Danish speakers. But naturally, the combination within the different consortia has been very diverse. So we have seen in the past applicants and consortia building either nationally with a certain public authority building up a consortia only basing on public authorities, or perhaps with a few private entities. But we have also seen going across border, meaning that one or two public authorities or private entities have applied for these kind of fundings and grants. And what normally happens is that, or what always happens, in fact, is that you will be, if you are the coordinator of a consortium, you will also be granted the rights to write out the consortium agreements, as well as the fund transfer to the rest of the participants. But this is very common in for instance, Horizon 2020 projects. Another aspect is also that, as you can see in the call text in the previous calls, is that there is a strong emphasis that it has to have a national tie-in with the members within the member states, as well as a cross-border perspective on this. So I hope this was okay for you, Mads. And otherwise, just contact me and we can have a talk. Yes, thanks.
Thank you very much, Christian, for that. We just had a question from Aaron there on the what are the tentative dates for the implementation workshop in Finland, which is the end of September. we'll publish the dates when they're confirmed, but end of September. Any more questions? We're slightly over time, and as said by Christian and Martin already, discussions can be continued on the user community, the link to which will be provided via email, and is also the page you used for the registration. Seeing as there are no more questions, and we're slightly over time, indeed, just a reminder that the workshops and training sessions are available free of charge, and we only ask for the logistical costs to be covered. A reminder that the webinar series will continue, with the next being specifically on how to submit a grant proposal on the 5th of July. And finally, can you please provide your feedback on this webinar via the questionnaire we're about to post in the chat function. Obviously, this helps us make sure that our webinars are catered as well as possible to the needs of the audience. And we look forward to continuing this conversation in the user community. So to Christian and Martin, TAC, as they say up north, and to everyone who joined us, thank you so much, and have a pleasant day and afternoon. Thank you very much.